Shanny's doing well. Whew. We're doing some Alex, man. But I'm going to tell you. Oh, boy. I'll do a little commentary here. And I'm being quiet because I respect, my love. And she's had a rough... this heat, not good for her, It's major fatigue and mainly from not sleeping because it's so hot, She has trouble sleeping. Luckily, I'm not like that because holy shit, I go too long without sleep and I lose my shit. I've been able to sleep, so thankfully. This administration, I mean, there's no words, okay? I mean, the face on Alex tells you something, okay? Like that face on Alex, that's now, actually. That's now, right here, that face. Holy shit, what the fuck is next? That's how Alex is looking, like, day to day right now. Except thinner, because he lost weight. Alex is looking good. He lost weight. My mind is blown by the blatant and wanton disregard of anything that this nation stood for. I feel like I'm watching like some kind of bad dystopian sci-fi movie. Like a bad one though, not a good one, a shitty movie. Where the main villain is like a joke, and not deliberately so. He just happens to be a joke. Like people want to say about my book, right? I'll plug it. This is my book, The Tento Saga, Mankind's Perilous Journey. You want a proof that it's copyrighted? It has a copyright page. Wow, look at that. Copyright 2008, Jason W. Egroff. Well, that's impossible. How could this book that people say isn't copyrighted have a copyright page from 2008? I thought AI wrote this book. There was no AI in 2008 to write a book. This is what some people have their audience believe. Brain damage. You scroll TikTok all day and fucking Instagram all day. What do you think is going to happen to your brain? It's going to liquefy. They did that deliberately to people. They have, we're going to make the most popular fucking videos on the internet. Less than 30 seconds. Do you know what that does to the human brain? It induces ADHD. And lowers your intelligence and IQ. If you like these quick videos, I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you it is doing you damage. Your brain. Dopamine hits, constant dopamine hits, fuck you up. And that's what social media is. You find a post you like, right? Oh, hit the like, that's dopamine hit. Look at that post, I really like that. Another dopamine hit. It's no joke, man. I have continued to view Democrats. I'm looking for allies in the Democratic Party. But the only way that I'm going to be your ally as a Democrat is if you're saying impeach this motherfucking guy now. You're the opposition party, right? There's no one else to do this, is there? What are we going to do? Who are we dependent on for leadership? You could have Jesus Christ. This is my new cross. Just got this. Temu for less than $10 on Temu. I needed a cross again. I needed it. Opposition party, my asshole. Trump is horrible. Trump is a demon. Get him out of office? Not fucking... Impeachment might not even be the way to go because you got, look, what? The Republicans control both, right? House and Senate. You need an emergency removal a la the Joint Chiefs of Staff aided by the military. The Joint Chiefs of Staff have to have a vote about the fitness of this president. And I fully believe that it'll be across the board a yes, we got to get him out of here. Take the steps. There's just damage. Every 24-hour period that passes, there's more damage done to the country. Because we're setting a precedent where... What's the Constitution anyway? What do we need the Constitution for? That's what Donald Trump said, right? He might as well. I got my diapers. Who needs a Constitution? I had a really good day today, folks, because I got my diapers on Air Force One. They finally put them on there. E. Jean Carroll, her cat's name was Vagina. That's as much sense as Donald Trump is making these days. Did you see him at the NATO meeting? Holy shit. This is unacceptable to go forward. Get rid of him. Now, let's go to Alexander Emmerich Jones. We're doing a clean browser. Alright, we're going to Alexander Emmerich Jones because this is the most kangaroo court fucking bullshit. This is part, what, fucking 9? I'm not sure. Don't quote me. Let's look at the dog shit that they called a court. Let's listen to the testimony. Let's listen to the questions and if they're fucking relevant to the issue of slandering Sandy Hook families. The charge is so fucking on its face false. Because I watched Alex. I was very active in the community at the time of Sandy Hook. He never did the things that they accuse him of.
Might have made a mistake, unintentionally.
Let's rewind and talk about December 14th, 2012. The day that Adam Lanza attacked the school. Where were you?
I believe I was...
Oh, we got what? We're gonna do that to me? Aw.
I believe I was gotten to work by the time it was on the news and heard about it. I don't remember the exact details. I just remember it was just like unbelievable.
What was your feeling when you saw what had happened?
Anybody with
Jesus, that's crazy. He said December something 2012. Is that when Sandy Hook happened? Wow. So I had been on YouTube only like 3 months. No, what am I saying? No, I had been on YouTube for like 2 months. Yeah. I got on YouTube August of 2012. So, man, this was so close to when all that fucking bullshit happened to me. They took me in on a 302 for no fucking reason. I had people call on me because my mom passed away, and I guess they were worried about me. So their fucking idea of helping me is getting me 302. Let's just say I lost all my friends that day. Well, they were just worried about you. Yeah, probably. Okay, and I understand that now. But that's not how you handle it. You come to my door and go, Jay, are you fucking... What's wrong with you? I heard you got guns or something. Yeah, I did. I heard Michael Bloomberg say on CNN that every single American should have to give up their guns before police are on the street. This gun-grabbing fucking piece of shit in New York. Yeah, go ahead. Take the cops off the street, and the Second Amendment will survive because it's the Second Amendment. He ain't taking that away. That's what Alex said to Piers Morgan. Famous. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. If you take the firearms of the American people, 1776 will commence. That's almost close to verbatim. If you're worried about somebody in your life, go talk to them.
I'm just shocked, especially you have children, and I, of course, already had 3 children then, that something like that.
But to put context to what I just said, I got out of the hospital, and as soon as I got out of the hospital for the 302, because of what they did to me, over guns. Because the psychiatrist that I saw was like, you don't intend on hurting Obama, do you? And he kept asking me that. You don't intend on hurting Obama? No. Why? Who gave you that impression? My friends gave him that impression. But the day I got out, it was the same night, but no, the day after, I slept it off, and I got up and I called. I got through. One of the toughest things to do is getting through to the call-in on InfoWars. It's tough. You got to be constantly redialing, blah, 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 you know. I got on. And I said, I got a story for Alex. They took my info, told the story a little bit, and Alex had put me on air. He said, whoa, we got a story for the folks here. That clip was all over the place on YouTube. It probably had like 2 million hits or something, that video. But Doug Hagman is the one that I called first. I told him about it first. He took an entire... It's probably still on the Hagman website, maybe. I'm not sure. But it would be back in 2020. Yeah, that article might be still out there. If I can find it, I'll put it in a link in the description. But, you know, Alex was very supportive of me. He's like, yeah, Revelation News, I've heard of you before. And I don't think he did. I think he had heard of a different... There was a Revelations News with an S at the end, which they're not religious. They're just like a secular news, alternative news thing. Very small, not big. I think they're who he was talking about. Or he may have known me, I don't know. But I had talked to after that. I talked to him a few times after that, and I could have had a job at InfoWars. I could have been Owen Schroyer. Which is funny because Owen looks like me when I was young, when I was a little kid. Like I had the same face as him, but he's still young. So, but that's my story, man. He had Doug Hagman wrote up an article, and I pointed Alex to that article, and he was like, "Wow, this is unfucking real." They took you in solely because you got some guns. Yes. Oh, he lost his mom. He's a threat to people. No. Come and talk to me. I wasn't in any kind of crisis, you know. Just come talk to me. No, we're in 302. Yeah, that's what happened. Back out.
That can happen, and that somebody could do something like that. And that, just that it was possible. It's hard to believe.
Why did you choose to cover Sandy Hook at all?
And it was a top story in the country, and a lot of powerful forces were also using it to blame gun owners in general. And so a lot of people had resentment that they hadn't done anything illegal with a gun, and they were being blamed for it collectively. So there was a lot of anger. Back then, the show was more driven to calls, so we'd open the phones up, and people were predominantly, I think, for a few weeks calling in about it.
As you sit here today, do you recall about how much coverage InfoWars gave to the Sandy Hook school shooting in 2012?
I would have to see notes, but I think it was like 2.5 hours.
I'd like to move into 2013. In terms of the Sandy Hook story, what was going on in 2013?
A lot of pushes to restrict gun ownership. I mean, just a lot of political fighting going on.
During that time, you interviewed...
Is absolutely like the Obama, you know, the Obama era. For conspiracy theorists and free-minded people, let's put it that way. You don't believe everything the mainstream media tells you. For people like that, I've always been that way, skeptical of it. I was a mainline Democrat, though. In 2008, I was making fucking T-shirt designs for Obama. I'm not kidding. That's true. I was designing T-shirts for him, his campaign. I was a very big Democrat and lover of Barack. Then one of my buddies said, "You ever hear of this thing on YouTube called Zeitgeist?" I said, "No, I don't use YouTube at all," and I didn't. I had no idea really what YouTube even was. I didn't have any interest in it. I watched CNN, mainly CNN. I watched because I had a Twitter account. It was called the Tento Saga because I used my Twitter for like promotion for this for a while. So my first Twitter account was called the Tento Saga, and I kept talking to Rick Sanchez on CNN. He would always put my tweets up on the screen, so that's a thrill, you know, to see your tweet come up on the bottom of CNN, like the Tento Saga, and then what I said. He would always put me up. Really cool. So this is a very, like, it's just very fresh in my mind the whole time. But my buddy said Zeitgeist, and I watched it, and I was like, yeah, the stuff about Jesus is bullshit. He's nothing like Tammuz or any of these other characters. None of them died for the sins of the world. None of them. They make that claim. And to claim to be the son of the creator. None of them do. So that was bullshit. But then I saw the stuff, the second part of the movie, Zeitgeist, is extremely valuable. And if you haven't watched that second half of the movie, it's all about the Federal Reserve System and how it's bullshit. It is a foreign banking cartel that charges interest to make our money. They charge us interest on our own money. Look it up. The Federal Reserve is as federal as Federal Express. And if you want to know more about this issue, look up the documentary film, The Money Masters, by Bill Still. Hopefully it's still on here. They scrubbed a lot of stuff, but I'm starting to notice certain things pop up again. So maybe we're getting some freedom of speech. I'm liking that. Thank you, YouTube, if you're doing that. Thank you. Charging interest and usury on your own currency is insane. Do you know how the money is supposed to be made constitutionally? The legislature, Congress, deals with valuation and all that, and the Treasury Department prints. Wow, that's simple, isn't it? Why do you have a Federal Reserve banking system determining your interest rates, crashing your economy, blow up the balloon, then pop it, blow up the balloon again, and pop it? Why do we let them do this? We have no need of the Federal Reserve Board. None. Everything having to do with our money could be taken care of in Congress and the Treasury. That's it.
Steve Pachenik, about the story. Why did you pick him? Did you reach out to him? Did he reach out to you? How did that?
I reviewed the video, but it was a few weeks ago. I mean, I believe he was on other subjects, and I believe it came up, and then I believe, if the theory you're talking about, I think I argued with him about it being totally staged, and then I found it hard to believe.
During that time, not you, but another host interviewed Dr. James Tracy. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Do you know why James Tracy was interviewed?
It was a big topic on the internet, and
Do you see how these questions are meaningless? Why? Because it goes to guilt by association. They just keep asking questions about other people's claims and then lay it on Jones. Well, I think I heard about this guy, maybe. It's mind-blowing that all of this went through and they put a judgment against him for $1 billion. This should be strucken and he gets all of his money back and his company back. They violated his First Amendment massively.
I mean, the host usually set up their own guests. I don't think I watched it at the time, but I saw it later.
At the time, were you or anyone else at InfoWars taking a strong position that no one had died at the school?
No, we were having, when we did cover it, out of the thousands of hours, it was a discussion of what happened there, and I knew that there had been other false flag events before where they actually killed people, so I still in general thought that was what was happening. And one reason to interview Pachenik is he was a psychiatrist. He looked this up, it was like one of the Guardian articles about it, who was involved in some stuff in Europe, knew about Operation Gladio, and had been involved.
What's Operation Gladio?
That's a classified NATO stay-behind network program in Europe, Eastern Europe.
It's like, thanks for asking. Let me inject a little truth into the conversation. You gotta love Jones. Boom, like a computer. He's a computer. His brain is fucking unbelievable. Go and watch every time that Alex Jones has been on Rogan, watch it. Rogan's blown away by him, Jones. Like, he's like, you're like a fucking living encyclopedia of conspiracy. He is. Like, he can just talk about, he has general knowledge on basically every single part of their plan. Do you see now why it was so important to the system to destroy him? I really hope you're seeing that.
Western Europe, Southern Europe, to stage terror attacks and blame it on the Russians during the Cold War, Operation Gladio. And Pachenik had been involved in operations dealing with the response to the kidnapping of the Italian Prime Minister and things like that, and the Red Brigade. And so I knew that he was on record an expert on false flags.
Let's move into 2014.
Do you see that there's absolutely no rebuttal of the information? Isn't that incredible, folks? Maybe Jones is telling the truth. Little Marie, let there be light. That's my favorite Rocky movie, is Rocky Balboa. Because he's an old man, you know. That's a great movie, Rocky Balboa. You gotta check it out. It even angers me just looking at him sitting here. Because it's so wrong. It's a man being penalized for giving information. We have a Gavin on the floor.
Comprehensive report written by Detective Dan Jewis was issued or released around that time, December 2013 or early 2014.
Say that again, please.
We've had testimony that the comprehensive report written by Dan Jewis, the detective for the Connecticut State Police,
Yes.
was released to the general public in either very late 2013 or early 2014. Why didn't that end all discussion?
I don't remember all the specifics. I know that it was a topic that the public was interested in, so it would resurface from time to time. It was not one of our main topics. Our main topics were wars and surveillance and police state. But I do remember that they said a lot of it was, quote, still classified and redacted. I do remember there being a controversy about that, and that was what made some people still think that they were being lied to about what really happened there.
Let me ask you, before we move on to 2014, if you recall, approximately...
There's no acknowledgement at all that with the evidence provided, there's some weird shit. That didn't matter, apparently. That's not what the case is about. No, what if the information that Alex gave was actually, there's something to it? No. That's not what the case is about. The case is about Alex defaming people, which never fucking happened. The judge is corrupt in this? It gotta be. The attorney for the families? Well, he's just making money, right? Oh my God. What fucking cut did this guy get out of $1 billion? Holy shit. Never have to worry about, well, much. Right? Take Alex's billion.
Approximately how much time did InfoWars devote to the Sandy Hook story in 2013?
I actually went over and have some notes. If I'm able to look at those, I could give
Would
you...
those refresh your recollection?
They would. So I don't want to say the wrong numbers.
Your Honor, Jack, these are some handwritten notes. Exhibit 31, which we know does not come close to establishing.
You have to lay a lot more background before you can refresh the notes that
He wrote the notes.
you have. Exactly. He hasn't said.
Just the fact that this was allowed to continue like this, Alex has ineffective counsel. Like, he should have had a fucking appeal on this. Appeal. Ineffective counsel for Jones.
Said that. What you say
Did
is
you-
evidence.
Did you write some notes after reviewing your documents in order to help you refresh your recollection while you testify here today?
I believe that was the entered evidence that you told me I need to review. You also told me to review the rules.
Without saying what I told you to do.
Yes, I reviewed that.
And did you take some notes based on your review internally to refresh your recollection as to what had happened?
Yes, I did. I rewatched them too.
Would it help you to refer to your notes in terms of time periods?
Yes, please.
Your Honor, I'm going to begin the check because of the discovery order that you have entered, which establishes that it's not complete. Because the videos are okay to use to refresh the memory of what's complete.
Yeah. Actually, could you approach both of me, please?
I think I'm getting kind of triggered. These demonic motherfuckers that are in this courtroom doing this to him know that he didn't defame anyone. They know it. And the judge is just like, no, we are going to bury you, Jones. Why? Because you think that you're more than a citizen. Alex doesn't think that. He's just a citizen. He's just a guy doing a news show. And became massively fucking successful. Why? Because he'll tell you stuff that the mainstream controlled bullshit media won't tell you. For example, the fucking United States government carries out false flag operations on its own people. No, we have one that can see. Jones can see. We have a problem here.
Based solely on your memory, without reference to any documents that you've reviewed, about how much
It seems...
coverage
Yeah.
do you believe InfoWars
It seems that my commercials are somewhat cut off, so I'm just going to let them go.
gave to Sandy Hook in the year 2013?
I believe it was 4 or 5 hours, less than 1/10 of 1%.
So let's talk about 2014. You started, Wolfgang Halbig came on the show for the first time.
I believe so.
And can you tell us what led you to have Wolfgang Halbig on in 2014?
He was on a lot of shows, and he had a group of bullet points, and my producer set him up on the show, so I had him on.
Leanne McAdoo. Oh my God, every info warrior had a crush on that one. Well, Miss Leanne. She's very pretty. Yeah, she is. But I was partial to Millie Weaver. I don't know. There was something about her I liked. I don't know where I think she's still on. I'm sure she has her ex, and she's still on YouTube. Probably. Millie, she was cool. But how big was a mistake? Like, there's nothing I can't justify or just how big was a mistake, because it turned out that his information was bunk, bupkis, bullshit. A lot of it, apparently. Like I said before, if you want to really dive into that stuff, I think the only place it's allowed is behind a paywall, which is Caravan of Midnight, John B. Wells. I'm sure he's still got the Halbig episodes up there, or maybe he took them down to protect himself too, because maybe that isn't protected. I don't know. But I can tell you that I saw a lengthy Caravan of Midnight episode with Halbig, and he laid out the pictures, he laid out the information that he wanted to lay out, and I was convinced that some weird shit happened. I was not convinced that no children died. I always thought that was insane, because it don't even make sense. They do these things for ritualistic purposes. So if there's no actual shed blood, there's no point to what they do. Everything is a ritual sacrifice. That's what this is to them, which is why they love war.
At the time, what, if anything else, was going on in your life?
My family was falling apart. I was in divorce.
Sustained.
I'd like to refer you to the end of 2014. We've had a video received in evidence of you stating your belief at that time that no one died at Sandy Hook, that the whole thing was fake. Do you understand, as you sit here today, how crazy that is?
I have said before that there have been so many lies and so many things in the past, and I was under a lot of pressure. And I truly, when I said those statements, when I say something, I mean it, that I really could believe that it was totally staged at that point.
Right, so we're going to set up the question. That's not even a question. It's not even a properly put together question to ask him. And where is his attorney? There's no objection form. Objection form, meaning the question that you asked is a malformed question. Mr. Jones, don't you realize how insane it is to think that nobody died? Well, this is his opinion. I do an opinion show. Like I try to tell you, I don't do much journalism. I do opinion and punditry. Very little journalism, which is true. He's an aggregator of headlines. And then he presents them in the framework of anti-globalist stuff. That's Alex. They turn this into Jones wanted to get the families. It's insane and false. And I guarantee you all the people that did this to these poor families are all COINTELPRO to take them down. And they did it.
And I was basing that off of really Steve Buchanan, who has been a very prestigious person.
Do you understand now that it was absolutely irresponsible of you to do?
It was, especially since I met the parents, and it's 100% real, as I said on the radio.
He even gave it to them. I really never should have said it's possible even. He gave it to them. I don't think he should have gave that to them. They are violating his First Amendment right, civilly, by suing the shit out of him for his speech. That's unconstitutional. They violated his First Amendment rights. Period.
Yesterday, and as I said here yesterday, it's 100% real, and the media still ran with lies that I was saying it wasn't real on air yesterday. It's incredible. They won't let me take it back. They just want to keep me in the position of being the Sandy Hook man. My son got confronted yesterday.
There you go. That's that. I feel that, Alex. What am I to the fucking internet? A chunk of it? A chunk of the internet believes this? That I fucking kicked my kid? That I had, like, infidelity? No, that never happened. There was no infidelity. I have not once... The only person that I've done anything sexual with, aside from the girl that I knew before her, which was 2006. Okay, 2005. There was one girl that I was really into, and it wasn't even a relationship because my best friend was like kind of with her, but we were like it's kind of like a throuple. It was sort of a throuple because she was in between going to college in Wilkes and going to live with her actual boyfriend in Maine. That fell apart. But anyway, for that time, she had an agreement with her guy in Maine that, like, she was a horny type of girl. So she had to have a guy to at least play around with, if you know what I mean. He basically agreed, I guess, to one guy she could actually fuck. And that it turned out to be my friend. But yeah, we did some sexual shit. I wouldn't say I'm proud of it, but I don't regret it. Because it's like my only experience, aside from Shanny. I haven't touched anybody but her. Ever. Since being, I was a virgin when she came to me, Shanny. You know? Not anymore, holy shit. We've had lots of fucking sex, but I've learned a lot, and that's good. Guys, you gotta learn, you know? You listen to your partner and learn. And man, I know a lot now. I know some moves. And yoga, guys, if you can't fuck good, start doing yoga. Stress positions, you will become a fucking god in bed, I'm telling you. That's just some Christian advice for lovemaking in a relationship. I'm not encouraging you to fornicate, because that's unchristian. It is. There's 3 things that James said we can't do as Christians. 1 is consume blood. 2 is to worship idols. And 3 is to fornicate. You are not to fornicate as a Christian. Thank you. That's a confirmation. Back to Alex.
Objection, speculation. Media wants Mr. Jones to just being on the show.
Sustain. I'm going to just remind you, just answer the question that...
See, I got a problem with this, the pop filter, but I like it. Like, sorry about this.
Attorney asked you. Thank you.
Commercial.
In 2014, based solely off your recollection, without having looked at any documents, can you tell us about how much time was devoted by InfoWars to covering Sandy Hook?
When it's 5-6 hours?
In the whole year?
Yes.
Moving into 2015, at the end, or at the middle of 2015, in July 2015,
All of this is meaningless. Do you understand that? Even if Alex Jones said, absolutely no one died there, it's his opinion. He can have an opinion. He never believed that really strongly that no one died. They judged this man and took everything he had for his opinion. That's unconstitutional.
You stopped, InfoWars stopped covering Sandy Hook.
Yes,
Why did you stop?
because
Why the fuck do you think? Jones is a smart dude. He knew that some serious bullshit could come from this, and it did. It didn't matter that he stopped talking about it. Didn't matter. They still took him to court fraudulently. Why is it fraudulent? Because they violated his First Amendment as a member of the press, a free press. They don't want a free press. That's why they did this to him.
Halbig was saying that I was involved in Sandy Hook because I wouldn't have him on, and I started finding out that some of the things that the anomalies they had put forward weren't true. And I just ended my divorce and just kind of got my head cleaned up and stopped drinking for a while and realized that it probably did happen.
Sorry, I was muted. Oh my God. I don't remember that. He said going through a divorce and he's drinking heavy. So he's like, I cleaned myself up. I got my head straight and quit drinking for a while. Oh man, dude, I feel you, you know. I know if I lost Shanny, I'd be in the bottle real bad. I know it, you know. I feel really bad for Alex Jones with this.
And I was probably, you know, I mean, it was a good chance I was wrong. So I started basically trying to walk it back long before I got sued because I wasn't sure that I was right anymore. Not everything's a false flag. Not everything's staged.
During that time, there was a reporter working, or there's a gentleman who at least we've had in evidence worked at some point for InfoWars named Dan Badandi. Are you familiar with that name?
Yes.
Can you tell us who he is?
He was a part-time reporter. Was a really nice guy, but we were being more comedy-based part of the show then. And so Rob's like, this guy's like a Howard Stern character. And so we hired him to do some funny stuff, but he wanted to do serious stuff. And then he was officially working for us, and I let him go. When he moved to Austin for about 6 months, it didn't work out. And then he went back, and he was doing his own show. Sometimes he would go out and, you know, say he was doing stuff with InfoWars, and we were proud of some of it, not so proud of other parts of it. And he, I
Can
mean,
you tell us specifically what you're not proud of regarding Badandi?
I mean, I didn't like, once I saw.
Can you see the repetition? Because we've done this, right? We've watched this together, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. This is the same line of questioning from the deposition. It's all bullshit. Guilt by association. Oh, Badandi did this. What does that have to do with Jones? Nothing. Because Badandi was not working for InfoWars at the time. Badandi was doing his own thing and farming content out to Alex. And then Alex eventually said, no more. Don't even carry his stuff anymore. You get it? What does that have to do with Jones? Nothing. I love Dan. I know Dan Badandi personally. I've done, holy crap, probably 10 shows with Dan. On one of my destroyed channels, many destroyed channels I've had now. I did an interview with Dan. We were in G-Man's house, so I can't remember how long, like 2-3 years ago, I guess. Talking about Trump and stuff. I did a show, interviewed Dan. Dan's show is, his channel is called Truth Radio Show, and it's on YouTube. That's his YouTube channel. There's a watermelons. She wants to get cool air, because it's finally cooling off. But I'm going to tell you, holy shit. His counsel is absolutely, the guy should be disbarred. Absolutely zero defense for Alex. This is testimony. He could be making objections to bullshit. Every question is bullshit. Objection, hearsay. Objection, relevance. Objection, form. He's just letting this fucking asshole Sandy Hook lawyer take all the beans.
Because I wasn't at the time watching a lot of the shows. I was just doing my own show. I saw some of the reports he put out, both on his platform and on ours. And I remember saying, that's not how we want to handle things. We said, do that. Tell them don't do that. And then I began telling the crew, no more Sandy Hook. Just don't cover it.
That is called a very good decision. He's like, God, the look on Alex's face is like, man, why didn't I do that sooner? I'm sorry, Alex, because this is bogus. All you ever did was give your fucking opinion. This is bogus. He never once attacked the families.
In that first half of 2015, before you shut it down, do you recall approximately, based off your memory, how much coverage Sandy Hook got?
I don't think it was much. I don't remember. I wrote it down, but I mean, I know that for 16 months after that, we didn't talk about it any.
16 months?
That's what my memory is, yes.
Let's talk about 2016. Was that an election year?
Yes.
How did the election affect InfoWars?
Before, we'd been seen by the right wing as leftists and by the left wing as kind of crazy libertarians, but I was popular with populists everywhere. So I was popular with land rights groups and anti-police corruption groups, and was really well known for being anti-police brutality at that time and anti-war. And as soon as I got involved thinking that Trump was an outsider, I got what politics is really like, and I got thrown in the deep end of the weaponization of politics and experienced what that was like at a very, very personal level. And
how did the Clinton campaign weaponize info?
This is very interesting information. Alex ain't gonna lie. He's gonna tell you what happened. That's one hell of a quote. He said, I tasted politics firsthand for the first time. Yeah, because he was never on either side. He kept that integrity. The Democrats do it, the Republicans do it, what the fuck? Correct. This is all an effort to destroy free speech in the country and destroy a free press. You can't say that, it's too offensive. They got his full 1984 style now. You can't use the R word, you can't use this word, you can't use that word, you can't use this word. They are limiting your vocabulary to make you dumber. Oh, Rev, they're dumb words that they ban. Yeah, but they're still banning words. There will come a day that you might have to go to court for saying one of those words. What? Where's free speech? It's fucking gone. I'll be right back. I just wanted to pick up my container of crisscross cigarettes. I just want to recommend them to any smoker. Because you get a pack of cigarettes, they're way too much money these days in most places. So get yourself a crisscross. $2 a pack. No lie, you get 4 packs. And they're bigger than cigarettes. They're bigger than hundreds. Somebody said, Rev, are you smoking a French cigarette? I said, no, it's a crisscross. They're technically cigars, but I inhale them. I don't fucking, whatever. I inhale them. I had to get these. So, okay. Drink. I'm gonna have to be going for coffee soon, because my monster's almost done. Here we go. Let's go.
Was Sandy Hook coverage?
well, they looked at, the media went with, okay, this guy's bombastic, he's colorful, he said a lot of wild stuff. We're going to use that and say he's Trump's brain. And all these shows said, Alex Jones tells Trump what to do. And people believe
Your
it.
Honor, object to the hearsay.
Sustained. Can't tell us.
This man has no one in court to help him on that stand. He starts answering a question, objection from who? And they cut him off. Oh, this makes me really mad, angry watching this.
That's what anyone else has said.
Okay.
There are few exceptions that I do not think will come up in your testimony.
whole fucking case against him.
So if somebody else said,
Their entire fucking case against him is hearsay and nonsense. He never said, go get the families. They convicted him of something he never did. They convicted him for the speech of himself, which is unconstitutional, and the speech of his audience, which is unconstitutional. Bullshit.
it, you can't tell us.
Okay?
Based on your participation in the campaign, just being in the country at the time, can you tell us the volume, from your perspective, of campaign ads linking you to Sandy Hook?
In the last 2 months of the campaign, I'd already been a big part of the Clinton campaign, tying me to Trump. And then they spent a huge ad buy for 2 months talking about me, playing edited clips of me.
Objection, he doesn't know what their ad buy was or how huge it was. This is just absolute speculation.
Speculation. Thank
No,
you.
it's
Just sustain.
This is absolutely true. They won't let him finish the sentence. I'll finish your sentence for you, Alex. That judge is an absolute fucking demon. She will not let him express himself in a way that could vindicate him. I watched this whole time. Okay? I was an active InfoWars listener at this time that this happened. And were there people that called in questioning things? Yes, and I think I even was one of them. I never said nobody died because I don't believe that, and I never believed that. Satanic sacrifice has to have blood. But it's a false flag. I believe that. It was absolutely an engineered event. That doesn't mean no one died. That's crazy. Plenty of people died on 9/11, and that was a false flag.
Sustain.
How did you feel about that?
Well, when I read the newspaper, there was a $28 million ad buy.
Don't say what you read in the
So-
newspaper, just tell me how you felt.
Things that you have read are also hearsay.
See, I kind of lost track of my thought there. I remember this vividly. They started airing ads of clipped shit. A lot of times, Alex is performative. It makes for a good show. They put together a bunch of clips that made him look nothing like who he is. Some kind of psychotic. And they attached his name to Trump, the Clinton campaign. And now you learn that the Clinton campaign spent $28 million on ad time to push this bullshit. That Trump barely knew him. This guy made Trump president. Alex Jones made Trump president the first time. Because the info warriors said, yeah, we're going to give him a chance. And Trump allows this mockery. Why? Trump doesn't value the Constitution. He never did. He's a phony populist constitutionalist. In his heart, he's an atheist liberal. Do you got that? How do you feel about voting for him now, Christians? I feel like shit. I voted for him in 2016, and I thought it was of God. PA was the last state to go. And we were all praying, oh my God, it looks like Hillary's going to win the state, and she would have won if she won Pennsylvania. I was praying to Jesus Christ all night, please, Lord Jesus, for a reprieve from this, please. And he just won it, PA. I felt like Jesus Christ said himself, you get more time. I was delusional. Now Hillary Clinton might have got us in a nuclear war with Russia. So maybe it was a reprieve. It could have been. It felt right. I can tell you that. I felt blessed by Jesus that he won. But this is now a new Trump. This is a new Trump.
Okay.
Because you didn't say them, somebody else said them,
Okay.
right? A writing is speech.
Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. It's certainly possible that our buddy Donnie is actually a fucking lizard in a suit. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you know that it's possible that the real Donald Trump was taken out? And you're now looking at a fucking lizard in a suit and a skin mask? For entertainment purposes only, my opinion, my speculation. How many upright bipedal lizards do you think are in our government?
Do not tell the jury anything that came from someone else
Okay.
that you've read or heard. You have to disregard that sentence.
Okay.
Go ahead.
the look on Alex's face? Like, but okay. It's that fucking judge has her boot on his neck. And Alex is a fucking male with testosterone. You think he doesn't want to scream, I can't answer a fucking question straight? Without you cutting me off? No, Jones, shut your fucking mouth, Jones. You're a slave, just like the rest of these fucking people in America. You shut your fucking mouth.
How did you feel about the advertising that was happening, the political advertising that was happening regarding you and Sandy Hook?
I felt it was highly deceptive. I felt it stole my identity and was building me into a monster as a political tool. And I wanted my identity back and did not want to be tied to the twisted things that they were saying I did by making me the Sandy Hook man. And I wanted to be able to try to set the record straight because it wasn't just hurting me, it was hurting my family. And I also realized that it was going to get other people, or possibly to make it a big issue. And it did. It made it bigger. It made it 1,000 times bigger than it ever was when other people covered it. It was just huge. And I had people on the street, shopping malls, grocery stores, saying, stop talking about Sandy Hook.
Objection, hearsay, objection, non-responsive.
Sustained.
You made a video in the
Okay, I think I'm getting a clearer picture now because I saw the counsel. I think this is maybe Alex's counsel questioning him. I apologize. It would make sense why you're getting objections now for answers that could help him. So that guy might be his counsel. I can't remember. I think maybe that's the case. But I'm going to tell you right now that every single fucking part of this is bullshit. Because it's based on the premise that this man defamed people with his free speech. It's not true. He did not defame anyone. If you want to go after people, go after fucking Wolfgang Halbig. Oh yeah, you won't go after him because who's the big cheese? Jones. With $1 billion media operation. That's who we're going to take. And we're going to take everything.
November of that year. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Called Final Statement on Sandy Hook.
Yes.
What was your purpose in making that?
I'm pretty sure that that's the attorney for the families. I was right. I thought in the beginning that this was questioning by the attorney for the families. I'm pretty sure that's him. Because I think Alex's lawyer has like long gray hair. I think he has a few different counsel. But like his, like I don't know if it's his lead counsel, but like his counsel is a guy that has long gray. One of them is the guy with long gray hair. We saw him, you know.
To tell the media why I questioned things, but that I thought that it probably did happen and that I did not want to talk about it anymore. So that was basically where I stood because I was getting a lot of calls from the media saying they wanted to interview me. And I was saying I don't want to talk about Sandy Hook.
As you
Oh my God, how dare you, Alex? Like make a fucking decision on what content you're going to make on your own media network. Mr. Jones, that's absolutely irresponsible to not talk about it anymore.
sit here today, do you realize what a mistake it was to allow yourself to be baited into making that video?
I feel I was completely baited, not just that time, but many other times after, and just caught in this situation where I've been basically typecast as someone that runs around talking about Sandy Hook, who made money off Sandy Hook, who was obsessed with Sandy Hook when it was less than 1/10% over those 6 years of what we covered. And so it was just extremely frustrating. It was frustrating then. It's infinitely more now.
In 2016,
All right, that's about it for this edition. I think this is part 9 or something like that. But I'll see you when I can. I really hope that you're really seeing how somebody's free speech was completely attacked and nobody stood up for him, really. No one. It's fucked up. Peace out.